a show. You've got a Christmas sweater on too. What's going on?
I was going to do that last week. I said, if game on, brother.
Well, it looks fantastic. I love it. The Santa Claus face planted there. Yep.
Yep. I sewed this on. Here's the thing. This is an authentic ugly Christmas, like authentic in that it was like when they first started, I made this.
Did you?
So it's not like, now you can just go buy it at like the Gap and stuff, right? No. Like this is from Value Village. I added some things and it's got like the drummer boy, but what are they? Mice? No, teddy bears.
Yeah, they look like bears. Yep.
Teddy bears. And I did the jingle bells on it. And so it's like the authentic, but if you like this one, now maybe we should have a voting contest. This one I didn't do anything to though. This was just as it.
Man, that is ugly.
Okay. Yeah, I might have one or two others here to share. Looks kind of the same as the last one. I feel like it's from Northern Reflections.
That's what I was just going to say. Northern Reflections. Exactly their brand.
Actually, no, the designer is called Angie Strauss. Okay. Next. This one's kind of nice. Again, these are real though. They weren't like once you could buy them. Like these were just ones people would have.
How many did you bring? Are you planning on just doing like wardrobe changes at every 2.5-minute interval?
Because this is my wardrobe. And then one last one.
Okay. All right. That's very much like 90s Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, crisscross. Yeah. Yep.
There you go. But I think this one's the best one.
Totally. I absolutely dig it. I like the collar.
Thanks. Yeah. Reminds me of my uniform at school when I was growing up. Okay, so you got your Christmas hoodie on.
Yeah, I do. I didn't choose the Thug Life. The Thug Life chose me.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. I saw a quote the other day that I love, and I want to talk about it.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite. I don't know. I never know what to call them. I'm going to say thought leaders. Who I really look up to, Marie Forleo, who you've heard me talk about before.
Yep.
And it says, you can't be an important and life-changing presence for some people without also being a joke and an embarrassment to others. Now, this is actually not her quote. Let me clarify. I realized it was on her show, but it's Mark Manson, who is the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I don't know if we censor this, so we could
put a beep. Yep.
Okay. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a
Okay.
Beep that out. Okay. So that's his quote that he said on her show. It's on a YouTube video. And we could put it in the show notes. So you can't be an important and life-changing presence for some people without also being a joke and an embarrassment to others. Now, this is not exactly what that means. Like being a life-changing presence because you just wore a silly sweater. That's not really what that means. But I do think that there's something to be said about that I really like the quote. And I think when you want to be a life-changing presence, whether that's wearing a crazy sweater or whatever, you got to put yourself out there. And you are always then at the risk of being criticized. But if you want to play it safe and just kind of go along and do what people expect, that's fine, but you probably won't achieve greatness. So I thought it might be kind of a good topic. Like, is there anybody you can think of that you have seen, whether that's somebody that you know or somebody that you follow or anything like that, who had to put themselves out there at the risk of being a joke or an embarrassment to others?
Yeah, actually, it sounds like a joke, but think of Santa Claus.
Okay.
No, but think about it honestly, right? Like the figure of Santa, like Santa, he instills all of this hope and magic in people and really brings them together in a holiday season. But for other people, they just see him as joke, that he's fake, that he's not real.
Okay. I'm not sure if I can carry that conversation.
You know what? I think that quote resonates with like anyone that has had any spotlight, and I'm sure it probably even resonates with people that don't have any spotlight. You think of musicians, any genre of music. Some people will say Michael Bublé is my favorite musician. He's changed my life with his works. Somebody else will make fun of the way he dresses, right? Because he's always in a suit. You'll think of like 9 Inch Nails, who have had massive effects on people that struggle through depression, and they'll make fun of them and how they act, and they'll label people as too religious or too satanic, or these guys just, but like that happens a lot in music. It happens in film too.
Wow.
Business, I think.
Well, I got a story about that. People
Sure.
laughed at my dad. Like, people laughed at my dad when he started M&M Food Market, which was back then called M&M Meat Shops, Meats and Fixins. And they said, like, what? You think like you bought this big freezer and like you're going to sell frozen steak? Who's going to want frozen food? Sucks, like people didn't know. And he had this big vision to like make this a big thing. And if he would have let the people that laughed at him get him down, he wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So he had to, put himself out there. So I think it's really important that if you want to get some growth, you have to have thick skin and accept that, there's going to be people that totally are going to disagree and be naysayers.
Yeah, that happened with Control V too, because we were the first in the world and we wanted to purchase commercial licenses to our VR hardware. When we called the hardware supplier, they're like, you guys are nuts. People are going to buy this stuff for in-home use. Nobody's ever going to go to a virtual reality arcade. And we're like, okay, if we're nuts, then just sign this paper and let us go on our way. And they're like, here you go. And next thing you know, they've got to change their model in order to suit the arcade industry, because in-home VR sales didn't take off,
Yeah, there you go. And I don't think the message here is to go and do, like, I'm not saying go do stupid, crazy stuff. That is not
Right.
the message here. But I think, there's certain things like people, there is such a sort of a fine line between, pie in the sky and like sometimes unrealistic and being somewhat grounded. And, I think that when we have these ideas and things we want to do, for me, what's happened, and clearly what's happened for you as well with your business, is that you attract the right people that believe in your mission and vision. Now, if you can't find anybody to believe in you, you probably have a problem, right? Is that maybe one way to tell? But if you've assessed it, and like my dad was like, it makes sense though that people would want to have quality food that's frozen, that is easy to just, from freezer to oven, because women were getting into the workforce, families were getting busier and doing more activities, and people wanted. So he's like, but it makes sense, so I'm going to try it. And so it's not like he had a crystal ball; he had no idea, but he was like, I'm going to do this, even though people, made fun.
You know what? Actually, earlier this morning, I was speaking with a young entrepreneur here from Ontario, because I mentor some of them, and she had this idea, and everyone told her, don't do it, because you don't know that industry. Just do this. This is the closest.
Do the more obvious path.
Yeah. And I was like, who cares? Like, do what you want, right? Bet on yourself. That's what Fred VanVleet from the Toronto Raptors says all the time. I know your son is a big fan of it. He says, bet on yourself, right? If you have a purpose or a mission or something you're going down the path to accomplish, believe in yourself.
And look at your track record. If if you are an achiever and, you have good drive and you can make it happen, that's cool. But so there's some things to assess, but I think that it just gets overlooked that how much we have to put ourselves out there, and we have to accept that there are definitely people that, criticize, but.
Yeah. And you got to love it too. Like movie stars, they're out there all the time and they start to get sick of the paparazzi and all that sort of stuff. I don't blame them, but I also don't have sympathy for them, right? Like, this is what you want to do.
Like, hello. You and me, they're like, wait, are you, wait a minute. Are you Ange from Ange and Rob Rants? And I'm like,
no, that's not me. She's over there.
All the time. Especially when I go out in this sweater, that's going to really happen. Oh man. Well, I think it's time to wrap this up.
Let's do it.
Hey, you ready for this? Let's see if we
Born
can get
ready.
it. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go be awesome.